Men of Mastery family, we are going to talk about part 2 from the last video of how as men we are not taking accountability for the quality of women that we are attracting. In part 1, we talked about how so many men today are blaming women for being promiscuous, for being entitled, for being masculinized, and saying that 100% of the women are this way. This is why I need to not date women, to go my own way, to complain and bitch and blame women for the state of things today. I do agree, like I said in the last video, that probably 90 to 95% of women are not high quality, high value women. They're not feminine women. They don't have that purity, that innocence. But I will tell you, there are at least 5 to 10% of women out there who are this. And if we claim to be the 1% man, right? If we claim to be the high value man, if we claim to be the best masculine man, and we think inside, I'm a masculine man and I deserve the best feminine woman, but she doesn't exist, then you're just lying to yourself. You're cheating yourself. Because that masculine man, if he believes he's 1%, he's going to become the 1% man and find the 1% woman. And so many men aren't becoming better internally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in their masculinity, having an open heart, even though there's wounds in his heart. So many modern men are just giving up, being lazy, playing video games, eating junk food, hanging out with their boys, getting drinks, going to parties. You're just being lazy. You're being worthless. You think you're a 1% man because you make a lot of money? No. If you're a 1% man, you behave like a 1% man. You have the aura of a 1% man. You have the mindset, the stoicism, the masculine leadership, the spiritual connection with God, an open heart of a 1% man. Are you that, or are you lying to yourself? Most of you guys are lying to yourselves. So what I talked about in part 1 was how you must take accountability, because accountability is one of the primary traits of masculinity. Accountability, that are you having the right mindset? Are you managing your reactivity and your emotions? Are you connecting with God? Are you being a nice guy or a leader, a masculine leader? Are you operating from a closed heart in your woundings, or have you healed those? That's accountability. And if you are accountable to yourself, you will become a better man in your depth. And if you are a better man in your depth, not the superficiality, then you are likely to thrive in more areas of life, in business, in your connection with God, your spirituality, your mental health, attracting high quality women. All these things will happen when you grow internally as a man, when you develop self-mastery, when you develop self-awareness, self-agency, and self-realization. Doing the inner work as a man is what will make you that man, not just making money and having six-pack abs. So we talked about in the last video, superficiality versus depth. If you want a high-quality feminine woman, a woman who lives in her emotions, a woman who lives in her heart, a woman who lives in her sensuality, then you must be that deep man, the man of depth, the man of self-awareness, who knows his right from wrong, his yes from no, and his purpose and his passions, instead of just flailing around, going with the flow, and living in the world of superficiality, right? In this video, we're going to talk about shortcuts. We're going to talk about how so many modern men are taking shortcuts because of laziness, because of lack of vitality, lack of testosterone, lack of a strong mind, lack of strong emotions. Men have just become pretty lazy, pretty go with the flow. And that's the reason you're not getting the woman you want. I'm getting the women I want. My buddies who are on my level are getting the women they want. But you're not getting the woman you want. Why? Because you're being lazy, because you're being disconnected from your masculinity, because you're living in the world of superficiality, and because you're taking shortcuts. So how are men taking shortcuts? One, we're taking shortcuts on our own inner development process. Number 2, we're taking shortcuts in where we look for women. And number 3, we're taking shortcuts in what we look for in women. And number 4, we're taking shortcuts in how we lead, grow, and develop the relationship. So let's start with number 1. Number 1 we covered in part 1 quite a bit, so I'll make it quick. We're taking shortcuts in our inner development process, right? It's easy to disconnect from your depth, from your spirituality. So because it's hard to sit down and meditate, because it's hard to actually feel your emotions as a man, see your emotions, and choose to not identify with your emotions, right? So many men think they're being strong, masculine men by closing their emotions. What's happening is when you suppress your emotions, it creates resistances. And when you create resistances, you start acting out in all kinds of weird and unconscious ways because you don't understand your emotions. So it's important to understand your emotions. And I don't believe in men being emotional. I don't believe in crying in front of your woman. I don't believe in showing your emotions, to other men in business. I believe you should have an awareness and an understanding of your emotions. And when you have an awareness and understanding, you can choose to think and act beyond your emotions instead of identifying with them, which is what most guys are doing. They're saying, oh no, I don't get lost in my emotions. Then they're suppressing them, and then they're acting out all kinds of weird and unconscious ways because of it. Number 3 is your spirituality. How many men are truly seeking spirituality, truly seeking God? And I say this in a completely non-religious way, but if you are not going within to find what is the creator, what is the greater out there, what is the purpose for me, what is the story that's been written for me, you may or may not even believe in that. And if you don't believe in that, I'll tell you, you're hurting yourself. If you do believe in that, but you're just getting lazy, and it's easier to make money, and it's easier to play video games, and it's easier to go to bars than it is to go within, that's why you're not getting godly women. That's why you're getting demonic women. That's why you're getting party girls, promiscuous women, because you're not becoming the godly man. So you get a woman who's not a godly woman, right? If you're disconnected from your masculinity and you play victim and blame and just get caught up in your video games, chasing money, chasing girls, chasing images, yeah, you're not going to get a woman who's spiritually connected and godly either. If you're a man who's living in his wounds and his heartbreak, and you haven't healed your heart from past relationships, from past entitled women, from past masculinized women who blamed, criticized, complained about you, treated you like shit, emasculated you, if you haven't healed your heart from that and opened it so you can fully love again, then yeah, you're being lazy. And if you're allowing your nice guy patterns, your people pleasing, your insecurities, your lack of self-worth to guide you, and you're not actually doing the work to become confident internally, to become strong in your beliefs internally, and not have any insecurity, any people pleasing, any permission seeking within you, if any of these things you're not working on, and you're not dedicating at least 50% of your life to working on these things, then you're just lazy. You're just a lazy bum who's not willing to go within. Because trust me, I know it's hard. I know it's hard to meditate. I know it's hard to witness your feelings and be stoic and go beyond them. I know it's hard to connect with God. It's the hardest thing to do today. I know it's hard to open your heart when it's closed. I know it's hard to be masculine when you're, raised with nice guy tendencies due to society and family. But are you going to do what's hard, or are you going to do what's easy? Everyone says going to the gym is hard, making money is hard. No, that stuff's easy. It's much easier because you just have to look through the lens of your eyes in the outside world. You get to focus externally instead of internally. It's much easier to focus your attention externally than it is internally. So all the people who say, oh, it's so hard to go to the gym and make money, that's not hard. It's hard to go within. It's hard to learn who you are at a deeper spiritual level. It's hard to build self-awareness, and it's really, really, really hard to build self-mastery. But if you don't do that, then you don't deserve a woman who's a high-quality woman, a woman who lives in her heart, in her emotions, in her sensuality, because you're not being that man at an internal level. And if you shift who you are, if you transform who you are at an internal level, that will emanate, that will vibrate externally. And the high-quality women, the women who are living from their deeper self and not based on money, cars, and parties, they're going to be attracted to you if you manage your inner world and you project it in your outer world. So that's number 1. That's the first area where men are taking shortcuts, is in their inner self-development, their inner personal development, and their inner self-mastery. The second area where men are taking shortcuts is where they look for women, right? We talked about this in the last video. Bars, clubs, late night dinners, dating apps. That's where guys are looking for women. Yeah, no shit, you're not going to find a quality woman because these are all superficial areas. These are all areas where women are getting gussied up, putting on makeup, putting on lipstick, wearing their nicest dress. They've gone to the gym all day just to show up for this moment so she can show all her superficiality, all her superficial qualities to a man who's earning her attention and her affection through superficial qualities of his nice dress, his nice posture, the way he can spend money on her, and how he can take her on travels, buy her drinks, buy her food, etc. So if you are looking for women at bars and clubs, at restaurants at night, on dating apps, you're just taking a shortcut. You're not actually looking to go to places where women who feel deeply, women who are connected with themselves, with their humanity, with their femininity, with their heart, with their pleasure. Are you going to places where you find those women? No, you're going to bars, you're going to clubs, you're going down the street at night or dinners at night, and you're going on dating apps. So you're finding women who are living in the world of superficiality, looking for a superficial man. How can you flip that, right? If you know anything about feminine nature, if you know anything about women, you know that it's feminine nature. If you want a high quality, good girl, she's going to be in her feminine nature, right? She's going to be of values. And it's feminine nature to feel deeply. So if a woman who's disconnected from her feminine, right? The girl you don't like, the masculinized, entitled boss babes, if they're disconnected from their femininity, they go to bars, clubs, work, dinners, restaurants, things at night, and dating apps. If you don't want the disconnected woman, how can you find the opposite? How can you find the connected woman? If you want a woman who's connected with her femininity, her heart, her pleasure, all the feminine qualities, where do you find a woman who does that? We know that feminine women feel deeply, right? So these women are likely to be in places where they can feel deeply, not disconnected places like bars and clubs or night restaurants or dating apps where there's no feeling deeply, but they're in places where they can feel deeply. So these women are out watching sunsets. These women are out where I am right now at state parks, walking around the beach. These women are at the park. They leave work every day and they go on a nice walk to see the birds, to see animals, to see the sunset, right? These women are going to the grocery store to get healthy food. These women are wearing conservative dress because they don't want to be seen for their superficiality, right? These women are shopping for health foods. These women are looking at nature. These women are sitting in the park, writing a book or reading a book, writing poetry, maybe playing some music. A feminine woman feels deeply. And if you want a feminine woman because you think that's a quality woman, not a disconnected woman who's promiscuous and parties, but a woman who feels deeply, who feels into her heart, who feels into her emotions, she's going to be in places where she can continue to feel. And I just gave you examples of a few. So if you want to stop taking shortcuts, men, you have to stop going where women go to be disconnected and to be superficial. And you need to start going to places and meeting women where they're going to feel their feelings and be more connected with their heart and their femininity, because you want that type of woman at the end of the day, don't you? The third area men are taking shortcuts today is in what we look for in women. Honestly, you guys have become such suckers. I have a lot of empathy for this, right? I run circles, I run groups with thousands of men, and I have so much love for these men, but it breaks my heart to see so many men just absolutely hypnotized, manipulated by women who use superficiality. They see a woman with makeup, beautiful eyes, beautiful lips, lipstick. I want her to be my wife. That's my future wife, right? I see a woman with fake tits. I want her to be my wife. A chiseled body from going to the gym. I want her to be my wife. A nice butt. I want her to be my wife. I mean, I'm sorry to say this because I love a lot of men who do this, but how stupid can you be? And because we're not operating from our depth, like I mentioned in the last video, we're not looking for women in their depth. So if you continue to look for women based on their pretty face, based on their body, based on their tits or their ass, based on the way they dress, based on her goals and motivations even, based on where she wants to travel or the music she likes, these are all superficial things. Even, I know you might think, wait, liking the same music is deep. No, that's superficial. Wanting to travel to the same place is deep. That's superficial. You guys are all lost in the land of superficiality. But if you want that deeper woman, you got to look at her from a deeper level. So for example, when I'm walking down the street at a park, looking at the sunset, at a natural park, the beach, I'm looking for women who are feeling deeply. And I'm sensing and I'm feeling to sense women who are feeling deeply. What are the things I look for? Of course, I have a look I like. There's a certain look I like, but it's not the hot, sexy look. It's more of a cute, sweet look. I look for the energy. Does she have a soft energy with smiles and happiness, playfulness? Is she with her family? Or does she have that hard, I'm so sexy, I'm a bad boss, I'm a boss babe, I'm hot shit? It's the first thing I look for. Then when I start talking to her, I look for, does she trust men? Can she follow my leadership? Does she believe what I say, or is she skeptical? How has her father raised her? You can see it right away. I look for, does she have a positive, happy view towards life, or a negative? Is life heavy, hard, a struggle for her, or is it happy and positive? Right? I look for, how does she look for attention? Is she out there dressed up, all sexy, looking for attention? Or is she dressed up conservatively? Does she not want attention from men? Right? I look for all these inner qualities, and there's more, to really sense and feel from the first moment I open a conversation with her, who she is. Does she smile or does she get scared? Does she smile? And getting scared isn't bad. Or does she get tough and strong and confident? You know? Does she accept my leadership or reject it? Does she actually sense if she can trust my leadership or blindly trust my leadership? Because that's not a good thing either, right? Is she positive and happy, or is she putting on a mask and putting on a cover and being a tough woman? Does she have a soft energy or a hard energy? Does she live from her heart and her emotions, or is she very logical and technical? So these are all the things I'm looking for. I'm not looking, of course, image is a part of it. For me, it's, I'd say 1/3 of it, how she looks and how she makes me feel based on her looks, but it's no more than 1/3 of it. And I have done so much work through my 3 to 4 hours of inner self practice every single day to be able to not just see the outside world, but sense the outside world. So I can sense through my intuition and my instincts if a woman is a good woman or if a woman is not a good woman. And how do I sense that? Because I can sense if a woman is a connected woman or a woman is a disconnected woman. And the way I filter and see women as I'm meeting them on the street, as I'm meeting them out at parks, in nature, etc., I'm filtering by what I sense and not what I see. And that's the shortcut most of you guys are making these days, is you're making a shortcut that you're going off what you see in women, but not what you sense. And this goes back to number one of this, is if you are actually developing inner self-mastery and connecting with yourself at a deeper level, understanding yourself and developing self-awareness at a deeper level, you're likely able to gauge and filter women based on a deeper level as well. But if you're caught up in superficiality, making money, going to the gym, video games, eating like shit, going to parties, hanging out with your boys, drinking beers, if you're stuck in the world of superficiality, you're only going to see with your eyes, and you're going to attract other women who only see with their eyes or statistics, right? But if you connect with yourself at a deeper level, then you're able to see a woman at a deeper level. So I always say, if you're a man who's getting women based on what you see, you're going to always lose. If you get women based on what you sense, you're on the right track. So the last area, which we're taking shortcuts, number 4, is you're taking shortcuts in how you lead a relationship, right? Say you meet the woman, you get her, you go on some dates, you have intimacy, you have passion, all of that's good. Most women are being led by men in the wrong way. We don't realize how much power we have to lead women, even in 2026. Even in this day and age, where women are independent, strong, boss babes in business, we still have a lot of power because they have subconscious programming to follow a man's leadership. So if we're not leading by allowing for her feminism, laughing it off because we want to get laid, so laughing off her boss babe tendencies, encouraging her manipulative tendencies, her entitled tendencies, her leading you, her being masculinized, if we're doing any of that, we're not leading the relationship right? If we're leading the relationship based on nice dinners, luxury experiences, spas, travels, trips, then you're leading her into superficiality again. So many men aren't leading women deeper into themselves. They're leading women into the outside world, and therefore they're constantly having to gain acceptance from this woman because the only value they're offering is material value. Money, experiences, dinners, parties, etc. If you as a man can start to lead women right when you start in a relationship, deeper into herself, deeper into her emotions, deeper into her heart, deeper into her sensuality, you will start to realize that you're now connecting with women at deeper levels. So you might be complaining that, oh, women are too superficial, women are too entitled, women are boss babes, women are leading. But if you're really going to take responsibility, it's because you're taking the shortcut of staying in this world of superficial things, whereas you actually have the power, not with all women, right? Some women are just stuck in the superficial. But like we talked about, go to the places where women are connected deeper. Become a deeper man yourself. Go to the places where women are connected deeper. Find the qualities where women are connected with their deeper selves. And then start to lead the relationship where you lead each other into depth. How can you get a mental alignment, emotional alignment, spiritual alignment, masculine and feminine polarity where you're in your dominance, she's in her feminine submissiveness, following your leadership, all these things. When I'm building a relationship, I don't think about where I can take her or what experiences we can have externally. Sure, I do take her on experiences, right? We go explore nature, etc. I'm actually doing that this weekend, inviting the woman I'm dating to a natural park. But more importantly, how are we leading her deeper into herself and leading the connection deeper? Because a lot of you guys are complaining that women are too superficial, women, want to use men, women are entitled, women want to lead. But it's because you're encouraging that behavior. It's because you don't know better. And I have a lot of empathy for you guys. I'm not talking smack here. You don't know better because you have been so hypnotized and programmed to attract women by using superficial things to attract women and superficial behaviors. But if you start to create the relationship that I'm going to lead and guide this relationship by guiding our connection deeper, a mental connection, an emotional connection, a spiritual connection, a connection based on masculine and feminine dynamics, and be more focused on where you're taking her internally than where you're taking her externally, you're going to get the right combination to find many quality women. Because there's a lot of women out there, right? Women follow trends, women follow society, women follow Instagram, women follow social media. They follow what's happening outside. So if you show them a superficial world and you're taking shortcuts yourself, she's going to be that woman. You'll be surprised how many women have been stuck in superficiality because prior ex-boyfriends have led them into superficiality. But if they find a man who's deep, if they find a man who's connected with his humanity, with his masculinity, with his heart, with his emotions, with himself, with his purpose, with his power, a man like me, when she finds that man, she starts to become deeper. So instead of blaming women that they're superficial, they're entitled, it's because men have encouraged this and men have brought out the entitlement, the masculinity, and the superficiality in women. But when you become that man who can actually guide her deeper, lead her deeper in a way no other man has, now you'll realize that, wow, all women aren't superficial. Yes, there are some who are stuck there. The ones with the tattoos, who go partying, who go drinking, that's their whole lifestyle. You're never going to save her, so don't try and save a woman. But the women who maybe had one or two boyfriends and they live in the world of superficiality because their boyfriends led them into the world of superficiality, you have the power. If you stop taking shortcuts, you have the power to guide her deeper into herself, deeper into the qualities that make her beautiful, feminine, soft, in her heart, in her emotions, in her sensitivities, in her sensuality, if you can guide her deeper into those parts of herself and guide your intimate connection to connect at that level, you'll realize there's a lot more quality women out there than you thought. It's because you are looking for the wrong women and you are looking for the wrong qualities in women, and then you're creating a connection based on disconnection and superficiality instead of one of depth of connection and internal alignment. So I'm going to close up this video to remind you that you are a man, you are a masculine man, and you get to take full accountability for the state of your relationships and the women you're attracting. And trust me, I've been through this journey. I bitched and complained and moaned for years, following red pill narratives about how all women are superficial, all women are controlling, all women are boss babes, all women are masculinized. And it's true that a lot are, and it's true that some of them will never be saved from it. But there is at least a small percentage of women who stay at home, live in their heart, are feminine, are soft, and are waiting for the right man to sweep her off her feet. But you haven't become that man because you're taking too many shortcuts, living in the world of superficiality and just not accessing your depth and not looking for the depth in a woman and not guiding the depth in the intimate connection, that you keep meeting these superficial women and blaming it on them. If you're a masculine man, you're going to take accountability. If you're a masculine man, you're going to grow yourself and develop yourself. If you're a masculine man, you're going to know that there are good women out there, and you just have to find the right combination to find these good women, where you look for them, what qualities you look for them, and how you lead and guide them into dating and relationships. And if you can master this, you will master women. And you will start to realize that, wow, even though it's not all women, there's a large percentage of women around me everywhere, every single day, who are high quality, who live in their heart, who live in their emotions, who are sensual, who have values, and are waiting for the right man. But because you haven't been the right man, you haven't found her. So I want to leave you with self-accountability, no shortcuts. Watch this video at least 5 times and start your transformation by becoming that man.